episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Omeji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Circa Barrakiel, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Psyche, Azuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstadter, Nat Clay, Lily Black, Bob Cece, Mikto Robintau, Sapa Chakwatul, Edwin, Arcadia Lunashine, Umbral Wind, Quick Levin, Pamela Isley, Camille Grinno, Elenriel Maximus, Coderith Novelist, Mira Miri, Suno Chicano, Celestau Notrell, Lazy Boy, A Wild Sarah, Luke Osborne, Pandaloo Stormarrow, Tex, Kai Lin, AJ Brainswordson, Anathos Moonscar, Arthur Law, Beridan Derard, Sypup, Spencer Christmas, Noy Fafnir, Cheshire Soltiri, Celine DeLune, Wibsta Wolf, Face on Masher, and Severa. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 314. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston, Mela Vanadar, and Rolodes. I don't know why. Almost forgot your name. Welcome.
It's a Pi episode.
It is
3.14.
What? What are you saying?
Oh, it is episode
Pi
Pi.
episode.
Oh yeah, you're
Oh.
right. Yeah, pi.
Quick, Melo, what's the rest of pi? Go. We say as many pi numbers as you can.
3.141592654, I think, and that's as far as I ever learned.
Oh,
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Better than I could have done.
Yeah, I only remember 3.14. That's all I remember from Pi. So that's there you go. Welcome everyone. This is patch 6.2. Sorry, this is a patch 6.2 Spoilercast. So please be aware
Sound
of
the
that.
alarms.
Sound the alarm. But I don't have the alarm. I still don't have. I need to figure that out. Next
Oh.
patch, I'll have like a bonk thing. Yeah, so we're going to cover the MSQ today specifically. So don't worry if you haven't done the raids, if you haven't done Tataru's Great Adventure or whatever. Anything else we're not going to cover. We are going to talk about Island Sanctuary, but I'm sure you've all unlocked that by now. So, yeah.
And that's not exactly story intensive.
Right,
No.
right.
The deep plot of owning an island.
Yeah, I guess the only, like, thing is like the initial quest, like who gives you the island. I guess it's the only spoilery thing. So that's what we're doing in the show today. We'll also be reading some additional stuff from the patch, the full patch notes, because there were some changes to the battle systems. So we'll quickly take a look at that. Unfortunately, we're just gonna have to do a big Mogmail special next week because we do not have time again today
Next
to read.
week.
Yeah.
Might have time next week too, considering what we're going to cover.
What are we covering next week?
We're going to
Right.
cover
Pandemonium.
Yeah, but that's not going to be that big. That's
Okay.
Pandemonium's storyline
Okay.
is not that long. Also, we might actually be able to start on time, which we didn't today, as usual.
Wow, yeah, we didn't. We really didn't today.
No. So we're gonna read. We can't wait. We will do it next week. I promise. We'll do Mogmail before we get into the spoiler cast next week. Okay. Stay
That's
tuned.
when we always do it.
Oh yeah, we changed that permanently. It feels like it's been so long since we've done Mogmail. I've just forgotten that we did that. That's just a standard feature now. Okay. Anyways, stay tuned for the post show. If you're watching live, we'll be answering questions from the Syndicate, which are questions sent by patrons. So make sure you catch that. Oh yeah, there is a channel update, of course, for patrons today. The Return to Soar is next Tuesday. So we're gonna, I don't even remember which dungeon we're going to right now. It's the one after Peace Garden. So look out for that. That is in the Patreon streams channel. Okay, moving on. We are going to recent events. Yes, believe it or not, recent events. There's things. First of all, happy anniversary!
Wow.
Today marks Final Fantasy XIV's 9th anniversary. 9th. That's
God, we've been playing this game too long.
yeah.
I should find more hobbies.
I really hate
Kill's
this.
been here longer than 9 years.
Yeah. It's 9 years. Yeah, 1.0 is 13 years now. So I'm old.
You fucking go wither into dust, you fucking God, old man.
Yeah, the anniversary is actually today at the recording of this episode on August 27th. 14 turned 9, and which means it's a big year next year. Which is also, incidentally, when we're getting a new expansion, right? No,
Potentially.
no,
I mean, it'll probably be pushed for. It won't be exactly this time of the year.
no, it won't.
It'll probably be
No.
early 2024.
I suspect it will be at the start of 2024.
Yeah,
We might be having a fan fest around this time, I think, right?
That
that
is
might
true.
be true.
We don't. Well,
They
it's
might
already
actually
have
try and
to-
organize
yeah.
the fan fest to coincide with the anniversary.
yeah,
makes
maybe
sense.
they'll use the anniversary, yes. But it'll be kind of yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll see. But also because it's the anniversary, the Rising has officially started.
This morning.
This morning, so we're not covering that today. But yeah, that's also a thing that has started today. So make sure you go do that after the show. It'll be there for you after the show as well. Okay, we're just going to quickly mention that there's also a new short story, or long story, I would say, written story in the called Tales from the Dawn on a special site. How many slots are there? How many stories are we getting?
There's always 4.
There's 4.
I don't like the way you said special site there.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. It was very
Yeah.
unnerving.
Special
On a
site?
special site.
On a special
Just on the
site.
lodestone.
It's on the lodestone, but it gets its own little like
Yeah.
layout and stuff. Okay, yeah. So we're not going to cover that either, but it is there. It's about Vana.
It is called
Yeah.
The Friendship of Record, and it is about Vanar and their relationship with the ancient that would go on to become the Watcher.
So make sure you read that if you're interested in some Heidelin lore.
Pretty decent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now let's move on to what happened when the patch dropped. There was a patch note reading with Yoshi P and Foxclaw, first of all, and there was some additional
Picture.
It's just a picture of them reading patch notes. I love how lost Yoshi P looks here. He's like,
He looks like I just walked into like a Japanese dive bar, and he's just the regular there that's just he's there drinking every single night.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what his backstory is. I think he's kind of depressed though.
mhm. Yeah. Okay, so there were some additional tidbits revealed during this patch notes reading, so I'll be reading some bullet points from that. First of all, there are plans for airship and submarine voyages to be expanded to personal housing.
I've always wanted
Whoa.
this.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
I don't know why, but I think they're more fun than ventures because it gets like the map and the UI and everything. And I just think it's not unfair because you can be in a free company and reap the rewards, but it's just nice that, you know, if I get 12 Aurelia polyps, I know I've got them and someone might just chuck them away in the bin. So it's nice to have that.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You do have
I think-
permission to do the airships and submarines, Mela. You could have had a lot of experience with it.
Yeah, I'll do them sometimes.
Yeah. Go on.
I mean, this is nice. I don't really want to think about crafting airships and submarines, but I do want to do this simply so that I have an easy supply of red Moko grass.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It has. Yeah.
You say that, but do you really want to craft the airship?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Oh, okay.
That's the part I don't want to do.
I thought you
I reckon you can only have, if they're going to do this, you could probably only have one of each type.
Mm,
It's like one initial investment.
yeah.
it's so much work though.
I hate. Yeah, I know. I hate it. That's
It's-
why I haven't done it on my FC.
It's a
Someone
bit
in-
of work.
Someone come to my FC and do my airship. I already built them. I just don't feel like
Oh
using
my
them.
god.
Yeah, the airships is abandonware at this point. Like
It is, yeah.
there's nothing new being added to them. And submarines, I feel like it's so boring because you have to there's like a system to like what parts to use for like the best, like min-maxing, getting the best out of. There's a lot of shit involved in getting like the best drops, but then even then you are not guaranteed to get anything, and sometimes you're just gonna get crystals and twigs, which is
That's
usually
true.
what I get. And you have to wait like 3 days sometimes for like your sub to come back and be like, hey, I brought you some twigs. It's like, yeah.
That's correct.
Sometimes. Okay.
No, you go first, Mela.
I
Sorry.
was gonna say, sometimes if you get like crafting materia, you get like 20, 30 stack of them. I mean, you get a lot of materia when it comes back.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty value.
It's a good yield, yeah.
But yeah, what I was going to say is Chad is correct. Submarines are about to become abandonware in favor of spaceships.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you
Ah.
can get space twigs.
Oh, we can explore the cosmos.
We're probably
Maybe even find
we're
wonder.
probably just going to explore the moon, Mela. Like that's probably going to be the map.
Don't ruin it for me.
We're not going to be.
We can go to the dragon homeworld and
Oh,
we
I
definitely
just
can't
take
go
it
that
clean.
far, Mela.
I just,
Why not?
because they have that unique animation for when you launch the ship in the air.
yeah.
They like the airship and the sub, and I'm just like, what the fuck are they gonna do? If
It's
you
gonna
go
be a
to
launch
space?
pad.
Is your house gonna like split open, launch a little rocket?
Yeah.
I hope
What's wrong
so.
with that?
Everyone has a little launch pad built into their fucking house. Like what?
You just get it put on top of the roof, so no matter what roof you have, there's just a launch pad on top.
Yeah.
They'll just show them like shooting out of either the ocean or the ether if you're in the, if you're in the goblet.
Yeah.
It'll already be flying and going into space or something.
Yeah. I don't know. You see a
Yeah.
little mammoth in his little spacesuit or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you see like Biggs trapped on there.
Yeah.
He's looking out the window. Oh, God.
Oh no. Okay, moving on. For players of Hrothgar, the number of Hrothgar hairstyles with ears showing will increase gradually here on out. They figured it
wow.
out.
They did it. Why? I don't know why you just didn't release it like that. But
Isn't it literally just like
It's
just a flat triangle on both sides?
Yeah.
Like one
Yeah,
side is
I
brown
mean-
and one side is pink.
Yeah.
that is what pretty much every ear in this game is anyway, to an extent.
Yeah.
But
it's
Hrothgar
such a
is the funniest one
strange-
because they're so tiny. Surely that can't have been hard to put on. But
All right.
It's
Shout out
such a
to the 5
strange
Hrothgar, yeah.
argument they made that like we don't have the resources
Right.
to
Yeah,
do
we-
this.
We
yeah,
can't.
it's too
The
much.
schedule's chock-a-block.
Hmm. Okay, adventure portraits will be used in dungeons and other content from 6.3. We already knew that, but that was again
Yeah.
reaffirmed during this. And right
What
now,
happens when you do it with trusts?
probably nothing.
Probably didn't show them, but
No.
Don't- Don't show me your ass in the dungeon, please.
No.
Don't. I
reporting
didn't
every single one.
consent. I don't consent to this.
No. Right now, you can only have one of each minion on the island, but in future, it may become possible to have multiple of each.
I assume so. This is
Yeah.
really what I want. What I want is more minions.
Yeah.
They talked about this, I think, about having multiple. I think it was in the live letter, but about having multiple of the same minion being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just have
Yes,
an
that's
island
difficult.
full of like just Paisa. Like
Yeah.
Again.
I get it because like if you want to only catch like chocobo and then you want like chocobo chicks in your like pastures, then
right.
That may,
I
yeah,
can
that
see the
makes
appeal
sense.
in that.
I want
Yeah.
an ocean of your stolas.
Uh,
You're stolen around every corner.
Okay. There are plans to show buff and debuff timers on the party list UI, though this would require some major changes to the way the UI is made, so it will take some work.
Oh wow, wow, we will.
That's actually that's amazing for them to achieve.
Yeah, I wonder if that means they can also solve like the old PS3 leftover
Removing
of the
MP
wa-
from the party bar.
well, maybe fix the numbers because they had to do some trickery again to get like all those
In order to do
numbers.
this, we're gonna have to remove names HP and MP from the party list.
Yes.
So it's just the buff timers now.
Sorry, you can't see job icons anymore.
Right,
Just that's
wouldn't have to
whatever
remove.
one is.
Half the screen will be black now.
I hope they add like debuffs to the enemy list because I think that'd be
See,
useful.
that's more important, I think. Things on... Yeah, do you remember when there was a thing where they could only show like a certain number of the same buff?
Yes.
And like if there were like 5 like bards and they all put their dot on,
But you have to
yours might
remember,
disappear.
almost all of this was PS3. The PS3 just
Yeah.
couldn't show a lot of UI elements. So what we're seeing is them like finally catching up to that, to
Yeah.
all the compromises they had to make to get the PS3 to work.
Good on them for keeping it up.
Yeah. The devs plan to implement other convenient features like the buff timers as long as this doesn't break the game balance. I don't see how that would break the game balance.
No,
So-
I don't either. But they got weird opinions about balance in this game, so whatever.
Yeah. The devs understand the issues with frontlines, but need a bit longer to implement changes. So they're gonna fix frontline, guys.
They
What
probably will
specific
focus on
issue?
fixing- It's really unbalanced.
I mean, it's
I mean,
unbalanced, but
That's always been frontline, to be fair. I feel like, but like, are they
yeah.
not gonna address anything in particular?
I
Just
mean,
fix
the
it?
way that like summoners and scholars run around just spreading disease to like waves of people.
Yeah.
I perhaps it is just a bad game mode. Methinks.
Chad is correct.
Okay.
There is also an issue of paladins covering people that are capturing.
Oh, yes.
It's
particularly
just
in
using the
SoH.
toolkits that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to-
I've seen that shit. Was it the con map or the
SoH.
Yeah.
that the paladins just capping
Yeah.
all the time. It's
Yeah.
just like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You should kill the paladin then.
Oh,
if
so
they
now
use
it's okay that someone's
I'm
OP because you
joking.
play
Mate,
it.
I'm joking.
Okay. I
Paladins
see.
can have cover, and I think they have.
And you have chains of cover where you like
Hallowed ground.
have. They do have hallowed ground. That's true, but
Yeah.
can you? I think is that not? That's the LB, isn't it? But can you have a chain of covers so the person capturing it is covered by a paladin who's covered by it, and it goes all the way back to your base? Is that possible? I don't know if that's possible to keep covering like that.
I think you can. Yeah. That would be. Oh no, maybe not actually.
And you
I
have to
think
go back to the source.
You can only have one cover.
Follow the chain.
Okay, well there you go. Speaking of changes, we're also going to touch on some stuff from the patch notes. So let's have a look at the changes to battle system. So
Whoa.
yeah, we have some things here that we need to look at. There's been a tank roll adjustment for provoke. Enmity generated has been increased. So we discussed this a little bit yesterday when we were planning the show, but it is probably related to the changes that they've made to enmity this patch in general. We know that they've made changes to how HOTS work, like healing over time. But there are other stuff as well that will. I mean,
it's not necessarily perfect though, because we're still like when we were doing it stream, there was a time when I still gained aggro back during the tank swap because the shirk went off too early. So provoke's not enough just to get you above. It gets you above the other tank, but it's not perfect.
Right. Right.
You still have to. You still really have to do shirk.
Yeah.
To make that work properly.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to Paladin, there's just buffs to
Big
skills.
buffs for our magic combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Same thing with Warrior too.
yeah.
The
Same
only
thing.
thing of note is the Shake It Off applies more quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yes. For Dark Knight, there is a pretty big potency buff to Abyssal Drain from 150 to 240, so almost 100, so 90. Yeah.
Living Shadow got a buff too. They're not going to use Quietus anymore, which is the AOE version of Blood Spiller.
Right.
So they're just going to focus on using the single target stuff, along with I forgot what it's called. The Shadowbringer, that skill too. So I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Gunbreaker's a whole new job.
Gunbreaker has had some range and potency increases. We're not going to spend too much time on this part.
It's a generic, just buff up.
It's just a overall buff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Double Down has had its reduction in potency from 20 to 15%. So
that's nice. So even the AoE doesn't lose as much when it goes between targets.
Yeah. For Dragoon, so this is interesting.
Why?
For the action...
Why this change?
For the action jump, the action will no longer be replaced by Mirage Dive while under the effect of Dive Ready. Following this change, Mirage Dive must now be set to the hotbar separately. The recast timer of jump and high jump no longer affects the execution of Mirage Dive. I'll also, before we talk about this, also mention that the same thing happens with high jump. So, didn't they talk about wanting to reduce, like, button bloats? So why are they bloating?
So if I remember right, Mirage Dive was a separate button at first, right?
Yes.
And then they changed it to do the action change with jump, and now they're changing it back. But why? I don't get it.
So what I've heard from Dragoon players is that by making it a separate button, they can delay when they go into... I can't remember the name of the stance, but they can delay when they enter their like big power stance,
right?
And allows them to like throw in another jump or high jump before they do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
they could keep themselves at max stacks ready.
Yeah,
and then keep using the slight amount of DPS jump does.
Okay.
Until they know they can go into a burst phase.
Yes, they did explicitly say that this was a change because of player feedback. People wanted this.
Okay. All right. Well,
it's
there
not
you
an
go.
awful. It's just an annoying. I mean, you know,
What,
Dragoon already has enough buttons, but it's fine.
Yeah, for people that are like casual Dragoon players, it's a little bit annoying. But for people that are like serious about playing the job, then I can sort of understand why they would do this for them.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you'd force it, because you could always still have it on a separate button.
Yeah, true.
So you only have one option.
Dragoons are probably happy about this then, if this was based on player feedback. So, good change.
The high end one,
for Samurai, yeah, there's buffs.
Slight buffs.
Yeah. Not much to talk about there. Same thing, really, with Reaper.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. Every time...
I don't think they need it.
Well, I mean, everyone's getting a
buff.
I think everyone's getting a buff, so they're just doing it to, like, keep everyone on the same level. Every time Machinist is in the patch notes, I shiver because there's always so much here.
It looks like a lot, but it's literally just about the Automata Queen and just attacking the first target.
Yeah,
that when you summon her.
Okay.
Well, isn't it also that like now they're further encouraging you to like fully cap your battery gauge before you summon them now?
You get a buff if your battery gauge exceeds the cost. So the potency is higher.
Yeah.
Like it says, for example, for the Rook turret, it can go up to an additional 75 potency. Oh no, the base potency is reduced, but it can go up to 75 if you're at a high battery gauge.
Yeah.
So I think they're encouraging that. Yeah. I don't know if I like that personally, because that means you're spending more time waiting to check out your auto turret, whereas normally you can you can get a little bit over 50 or whatever, and then still chuck it out, and you haven't like lost out on battery gauge or something.
Right. Yeah.
I don't like losing a resource to capping it.
Yeah. But overall, I guess these are they're buffs. We're all getting buffs. Oh.
What about yours?
What you got? What do you got?
My bells.
Not many.
Have gained 5 more seconds.
That's pretty big, though.
The
bells are really good.
It is big. It is quite big. But
you keep jingling your bells.
Thank you. I will jingle my bells. Okay, for Scholar...
Forgotten class.
The Scholar has also very little change here.
The fairy doesn't give me enmity anymore. Good.
It's enmity stuff.
Hooray.
So, yeah, Embrace, Seraphic Veil, and Fey Union no longer generates enmity.
Just like the heal over time stuff for the other region healers, so makes sense.
Essentially what the fairy is.
Yes. For Astrologian, redraw, the card drawn will never have the same astro sign as the card presently held.
It's quite
good.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a nice change.
Yeah.
It
and
makes sense if you think about the deck of cards you probably have. It doesn't have many cards in it.
No.
You just have loads of duplicates, so
yeah.
kind of makes sense anyway.
Yeah.
The minor arcana change is good too. That's one less button.
Yeah, action now changes to the drawn arcanum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never wanted. Why would minor arcana have been a different button anyway? Once
I don't know. They should just get rid of minor arcana. I hate it so much.
I like minor arcana. It's just they need to make the heal not shit.
They need to get rid of Astrologian.
But why would you ever want the heal when you could get the damage?
No, I don't think you want the heal. I think they need to make the other thing also good.
Yeah, maybe a barrier rather than a heal.
Minor arcana is the only thing where there is like RNG in Astrologian anymore.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Okay. For Sage, Cardia no longer generates enmity when active. So it isn't enmity stuff again.
Same as the fairy.
Yeah. For Holos, the additional effect that writes a magic barrier which nullifies damage equaling the amount of HP restored has been added with a duration of 30 seconds for Holos.
Nice little buff.
Nice.
They added a shield to it. That's a nice buff.
Yeah.
Makes sense because it already gave you a buff of reducing damage by 10% and healing you. So I feel like that should have.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Also,
preemptively.
Interestingly, they've added a new trait for Reaper, Death Scythe Mastery Tube at level 84, which increases the potency of Slice to 320, Waxing Slice to 160, and Infernal Slice to 180.
Maybe it was too strong pre that level with these new changes.
Possibly. And for Astrologian,
Reaper is OP, so.
For Astrologian, rest in peace, Crown Play. That action has been removed.
Well, that was what you used to use the minor arcana afterwards, isn't it? So that's irrelevant now.
Goodbye.
Bring back Disable.
Okay, well there you go. That's those are the big battle changes for this patch.
Bring back Raging Strikes for Black Mage.
You're so set on this.
Okay, well there you go. We're moving on to the spoiler cast now, but before we do that, actually, let's stay on this for a little bit because patch 6.2 launched on this Tuesday. When it did, we got Island Sanctuary. We're going to talk about Island Sanctuary in a bit, but before we do that, let's talk about patch day. Now, I had to start late. Because
same here.
I started after work.
Well, Rollo, you were blessed by Mela and Rollo. You were blessed with not having, you were working, right? So you couldn't start on time. I had to just exist because I had to stream it. I have to wait until people have caught up on the MSQ. So I just sat here like pretending 14 didn't exist for hours. Well, so unfortunately, that means I wasn't able to gauge, patch day on the servers. Was anyone, Georgi, were you able to play when the servers came back up?
I think I was the only person that played as it went
At
live.
launch.
I play on a relatively uninhabited server, so no, I was not affected by this.
Okay, right, true. So there were issues with the servers when the patch launched, which I would be more forgiving. I forgive them this time because it's a brand new system, essentially, that's been added. But one thing that is very funny, that after the game launched with the new patch, a post on the Lodestone was made with the following title: Known issue after patch 6.2. The issue below has been confirmed. We are currently investigating and working to address this issue. Known issue. The dynamic resolution function, beta version, is not achieving the expected effect even with the setting enabled. We apologize for any inconvenience caused.
I think the funniest part of that is even when enabled.
Yeah, even when enabled.
It's not going to do anything.
Yeah, and it's disabled.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense. But well done, you implemented something that you sort of waffled your way around without really explaining quite what it does, and saying, but you won't notice it, and if you don't have it, it'll be off by default, and don't use it.
Well, you really won't notice it now.
And now it doesn't work.
Yeah,
so
we have essentially added a pointless button, a button that does nothing. So that's cool. We love that for us. But also, following that, there was also issues with the servers because a lot of people wanted to play Island Sanctuary. And from what I think we have gathered is that they're using possibly the same servers as housing. Because when congestion, because I noticed actually a couple of times that sometimes I couldn't enter our house because of congestion. And it's not like they've added additional houses, so I think it is they're on the same system there. As people were trying to enter their new island sanctuaries, the servers kind of started to struggle. A post was made on August 23rd. We have confirmed ongoing congestion in instanced areas such as Island Sanctuary and indoor housing areas. So there it is again. In preparation for the Island Sanctuary added in patch 6.2, the number of instances created had been increased significantly. However, this limit is being reached on certain worlds, particularly Balmung and Cerberus, where we are seeing significant instance numbers compared to other worlds on the same data center. We're currently looking into supplemental measures such as the inclusion of backup server machines. In the meantime, should you receive a message indicating that the server is busy when attempting to move to a different area, we ask that you wait a while before attempting again. Thank you for your understanding, and we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Yeah, but they just couldn't wait for that.
Just couldn't wait one day.
I mean, this was also an issue on Ragnarok and other larger servers as well.
Yes, it was.
But I feel like this tells us one very important thing, and that is our housing system is broken. But I don't think instance housing is the solution based on this event.
Because we've essentially got this is instant island, and it hasn't really it didn't go that well. There was a follow-up on the same day. We would like to inform you of the current situation regarding the congestion of instances in the worlds used by Island Sanctuary and indoor housing areas. We've done everything possible to increase the number of instances available, including deploying spare server machines and adjusting server settings. But most of the...
Sorry, I like the use of deploying. It makes it sound like they're drones. Targeted drones.
But most of the worlds in our European and North American data centers have reached their instance limits during peak login times. The number of logged-in characters in some worlds is also close to the maximum number of logged-in characters in a world, and there is a possibility that all data centers will reach their instance limits during peak login hours. We will continue to monitor the situation and consider possible countermeasures. However, in the meantime, should you receive a message and again, it's telling you to try again. So, I was almost expecting
almost like an expansion launch.
Yeah. Well, they do have they have an AFK kick timer in Island Sanctuary, so you can't AFK in there. But you can. Yeah. Can you AFK in your house?
Yes. You can AFK in the Island Sanctuary for 30 minutes. 30 minutes was the period of time in which you get kicked out, because I got that happened to me. One of my favorite things though is if you go to Lower Lenosha in Morabi Dry Docks, you can see just the crowds of shame of all the AFK people outside of the person that you talk to transport you to the Island Sanctuary.
Think about the poor Sprouts.
Yeah.
You might not be able to even get into Lower Lenosha now because it's absolutely jam-packed full of AFKs.
That's true.
Lower Lenosha does have multiple instances right now, I believe.
It does.
Oh my god, does it? Oh, that's so funny. I imagine I bet we never thought that the day would come when Lower Lenosha would have instances.
No. Okay, well, what's interesting, so let's talk about Island Sanctuary, but one thing that I want to note is that you can log out of Island Sanctuary and still be in the Island Sanctuary when you log back in. And if we
yes, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't expect that considering it's like pseudo
It has
housing.
a slightly janky feel. Like when you come out of a dungeon,
yeah, you can
it's
tell.
like you're loading back into like your the normal world, and then it goes.
Yeah,
and
you can
it's like,
tell that it's
now you're
moving
loading
you.
back into.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good.
Okay, so let's Island Sanctuary then. We'll give our first impressions on the system. There's been some expected backlash. I knew this was going to happen when Island Sanctuary came out because we live in an instant gratification world right now where people just expect to get all the things immediately. Even though Yoshi P and even we have said again and again, this is super slow content. Like this is supposed to be like people even brought up like Animal Crossing as like a comparison, and shit takes forever there.
But then I suppose to go with your instant gratification analogy, the amount of people who time skipped their switches to complete their like fish log on day one. I mean, that's just sad to me, but
I mean,
you do you, I guess.
Yeah, you do you, whatever you want to do. But here you can't do that. So those people that do the time skip in Animal Crossing are probably the ones that are the most upset now.
I think one of my favorite things about this is that it actively punishes people seeking instant gratification.
Yes.
Because people that received their cowries, which is the currency on the Island Sanctuary, and decided, these seem easy to obtain. Let me buy some goodies for myself. Oh, I need these to upgrade my island.
Yeah. That's I think maybe they should have.
They probably should have warned you that these would be needed for later. But
also,
once you get into it, you don't make them quickly.
No,
but you make them steady enough that you can probably get the 1,000 needed for the next thing or whatever in like a day or two, or 3 days. Maybe.
I've never been gated off from doing any upgrades I want from a lack of calories, having never bought anything.
No, me neither.
No,
I don't think I have. I've been doing it very slowly. That's how.
Yeah, I've just been.
What rank is everyone right now?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually know.
I think I'm 3.
Oh, 3. I think I'm 6.
I'm 6 as well.
Yeah.
I've been going.
I'm either
slow.
early 5 or late 4. I can't remember what my XP was at.
Right.
Yeah. I've just unlocked the second, the plot 4 and.
Oh yeah, the 2 extra
3 and 4,
and 4.
Yeah.
And then there's the second landmark. That's as far as I.
Yeah.
I've not built them yet.
Yeah, I think I'm. Yeah, I have a granary. I have 2 workshops and 1. I didn't build the second granary.
You haven't bought the second granary?
No.
Granaries are really useful. They give you they're the only ways to obtain the rare items, which are useful for certain crafts.
I think I'm building one. I think I'm building the second one. It might be
I
done now.
should build my garage. My mammoths are resting, so it's fine.
Right. So, what do you think of the system? Though, putting that aside, we knew what we were getting, so I don't think we had any problems with the slowness of this content. Rollo, how do you feel about it? You sounds like you've done the most casual approach to this.
Oh yeah, I guess I wasn't surprised when I would like go on like Twitter or Reddit and they're like, "This is the guide for these rare animals, and go to this spot, and this is the timers." And I was like, "What?"
I mean, yeah.
But I will admit I've used the timers for the rare animals, but that's about it.
I mean, it's fine. It's just weird that they was so quick to like develop that meta and like the. I don't know. That's just
praise be to the people that have grinded rapidly to rank 10.
Yeah,
but no, I've liked it. I've been doing it very, very slowly. Like whenever I just have some downtime in between, like I've been just doing homework or something for class, I'll just pop on there and gather some stuff and maybe start building, or just like start building towards some of the more expensive buildings. But like in total, I would say like this week I've been in there at most about 4 hours or so, 3 hours.
I've definitely spent more time than that.
Yeah,
but I would say a lot of the time is I just kind of like ran around looking at stuff, and I was like, Neat.
Yeah.
Rock salt in this cave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I can dive and pick some shells.
Yeah.
Oh, how pleasant.
Yeah.
It took me a while until Mailer told me that he was making like certain seafoods in his workshop. I didn't even realize you could dive.
Oh yeah, because that's what you were sad that you didn't think they would have diving in here, and they do. I thought about you when I was going down, like, oh, Georgi's gonna like this.
I am happy about this.
Yeah. Mela, how do you feel about what has your experience been like?
I think I've enjoyed it. I've found myself spending more time than I expected, just mindlessly gathering things. I've got sort of a mental map of where the resources are already.
Yeah.
I think one thing I liked was at the start I spent most of my time in that first little gathering area. I didn't explore too much.
Right.
And then I started needing items that I wasn't familiar with. I was thinking, can I get them yet? And as you just go around, you see these new pockets of resources. Like I'm like, oh, bluish rock. Wonder what that is. And I can get it already, and it's the copper. And I'm like, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what I needed.
Yeah.
There's not as much variety of creatures that I expected.
Right.
I've also never seen a shiny yet.
From what I'm aware, pastures cap at 15, so
yeah,
it's not like you'd be able to catch that many anyway.
Well, I suppose that's true. I feel like I've not seen a huge number of animals, but that's fine.
They cap at 20? Okay.
Yeah, 20.
That's not what I'd read. That's good.
Yeah.
That allows you to have one of every animal.
I think the best thing about it is that every node upgrades with the tools you have. So you can only get stone, and then suddenly you can now get limestone and stone.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'll be able to get something else and limestone and stone later on and whatever.
Yeah.
I think something I've been frustrated with is that like some resources require similar tools to ones you already have. So like I go up to a rock and think, I have the tool for this. And then your character just fucking scrapes at it with their paws.
I agree. Speckled rock and like black rock, I can't get, but bluish rock, oh yeah, I'm all over that.
Yeah. All right, Georgi, what's your time in Island Sanctuary been like?
Oh, I have enjoyed myself. Just like I'm always I'm looking at the workshop list and like, oh, I want to make new things. And then I'm like, oh, I need lots of new stuff. I need to go gather more stuff. So then I go gather more stuff and then like, the workshop is ready now.
Yeah.
So that's my main motivation is just like, I want to keep the workshop running.
Right.
And I want to keep my mammoths working.
Yes.
But they have to have 2 days off every week.
Yeah.
And I get annoyed about that.
They have a union, Georgi.
I love it that they have a fucking union or something.
Yeah.
Like, we're not working today. Also,
this thingy to show like what is in demand and stuff for the workshop, like what you need to make at the workshop, like appeals to my sense of appreciation for spreadsheets. So trying to figure that out is interesting to me.
Okay.
I was absolutely shocked at that like workshop stuff. I was totally unaware that was even going to be a thing. I was like, well, there's bonuses for crafting these different types. These items have different category tabs. So I was like, what?
Yeah, like the efficiency bonus is fun, but then when you add on like the market data thing, it gets bonkers. You could really min-max that if you wanted.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a surprising amount of depth, I think.
And it changes on a weekly basis. If you make only potions next week, the demand will be down or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like dynamic. It's very, very cool.
I will say...
No, you Rollo.
Go on, Rollo.
The UI fucking sucks so hard. For this entire system is just technical debt or awkward adaptations to our current system. It's just like, why does this work like this?
I sometimes think some of the images they use are confusing as well, because you're like, oh, you see that grey cloud? That means your animals are content with you.
Yeah.
You think they might be upset.
But doesn't make that's the only part I looked up some guides for, or like people's like recommendations. I'm like, what do these icons mean?
Yeah, because at no point does the game tell you, and you'd think intuitively that if you hover,
it does. That's all in the guide.
Yeah, it's all in the guide.
Yeah, but you have to open the fucking. Want me to open the fucking? You've seen the size of that guide? But the thing is,
I read all of it, Lakil,
intuitively friendly UI design. You hover over the fucking icon, and it tells you what it is.
I agree.
I do agree with you on that.
But you've just bought an island, and you're not reading the guide on your island. You're not going to know how the island works.
I'm just like...
You gotta read the guide.
It's weird because, like, I think 14 has come a super long way in terms of, like, accessibility and, like, improvements to the UI and just, like, general UI design. This feels like if 1.0 had gotten Island Sanctuary, this is what it feels like it would have been, you know, with these kind of weird, clunky menus.
It's kind of, because one thing that, because I think as 14 players, we're sort of just kind of used to things being janky. Like, we'll be like, okay, well, of course we have this little menu where we have to set the mode and we have to, like, click on that to be able to... But it's very old-fashioned, weird system to me.
I don't mind the mode selection thing because that's very similar to just in Animal Crossing, except for, like, instead of selecting the tool, you're selecting the mode. So
Harvest Moon, you have to select your watering can to water. You have to set the seed to plot the seed. You have to set the hoe to make the thing on the ground.
But it's strange though because you can't put anything on a hotbar at all.
That's the problem because we talked about this initially. It was like, oh, it looks like we might be able to pull those onto a hotbar because everything is a button in 14 is usually modular. You can just pull it out and put it on your bar. You can't do that here, which makes me think that there's some spaghetti here that is preventing it. And
100%.
Yeah, there is something here.
And also, why is this? Are they using the duty selection for the?
The sprint makes no sense. That is such spaghetti bullshit. We already have a sprint toggle in PvP.
Yeah, that's weird. Because like it doesn't even feel like it should be spaghetti because we do have that. As you said, there is a toggle.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's because
you have that and then zone into a dungeon, they probably don't have a way of removing sprint. On zoning or something.
They remove all buffs when you enter a dungeon. You can't enter a dungeon with buffs. Like when the shield goes down, you lose the buffs.
That's true. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Here's a super simple solution. I think that would work with the systems we have without making any changes or even have to use the PvP sprint. When you go into the area, the island in general, you just get a sprint buff. As in, like whenever you hit sprint, it makes your sprint buff last the entire time. That's it.
I mean, that sounds easy. The question is, can they implement this and that in this spaghetti game?
Maybe. I hope so. Just figure out something.
You know what? I have a feeling. Remember, this is new content, so I have a feeling that this is going to get ironed out soon. Especially the sprint thing,
for sure.
That's so stupid. They're like, how are we going to make them be able to sprint along? Like, has there been a breakdown of communication? Did no one tell this team that we already have a toggle?
The initial inceptions of different pieces of content. Compare this to Squadrons, where they were just ventures. This is quite it's a very strong start. I have confidence in this system, but I don't have confidence in Squadrons.
Oh yeah, all of my like complaints with this are like things that could absolutely like be fixed or even ironed out just to work like a little bit better. And these don't ruin my experience. Like I prefer to play Island Sanctuary with a controller in general because it's kind of like a lot of clicking.
Chat, this is how you get improvements to the game is by pointing out what you don't like and what you think needs to be fixed. You can't just sit still and be like, I like this content, meanwhile just collapsing around you. So
definitely don't get it wrong or twisted. No. I think this is great content. This is just the little nitpicks in my brain.
The one thing I liked when I first started playing it was that the music surprised me. It's like Animal Crossing-esque almost. Yeah,
when you're in the camp, it's like Harvest Moon, but when you're out about, it's like Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
and I like. But every time I go home, it's like,
yes,
I'm back in the farm part.
Yeah. It's very nice. Very nice.
I like whenever your mammoths build a new thing, you get to see them like celebrate at the end of it.
Yes. Yeah.
I like the farming. It's very simple.
It's very simple.
I like playing with my animals in my pasture.
Yeah. Giving them a pet. Giving them some food. Just chilling out, you know.
It's a very relaxed game mode, which is what
There's
it
no
was meant to be.
competition. I don't. You know, I'm going to get all the rewards eventually. I don't care if I
It already
have now or not.
It already feels like I mean, I've already started using this as my new AFK spot where I just hang out in the game until I need to do other stuff.
Yeah, same.
And you can't do anything wrong.
No.
Don't worry if one day you forget to water your plants. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Don't worry if you know, let's say you've only just bought your. It doesn't matter. There's no competition, there's stress.
Right.
Yeah,
Just on your island, chilling, just do it at your own pace. Just who cares?
Yeah.
Just enjoy it because it's not going to last forever, probably.
Yeah.
I feel no FOMO for this content at all.
Exactly.
I am happy to do this at whatever pace I want.
Yeah.
100%, which I don't think I can say for almost any other.
I'm not even interested in looking up anything about Island Sanctuary.
No, I don't want to see your guide. I don't want to know that there's a secret like golden chocobo spawn at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. I don't care. I'll find out myself.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like you're also free to play this however you like, of course.
Exactly. If you want to set up a spreadsheet,
yeah,
go for
I'm
it,
not setting up a
too.
spreadsheet. I just want to look at the information and figure it out from my brain.
And that's fine too. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Island Sanctuary. I think it's promising. It has some kinks it needs to iron out, but I'm sure
it's a good time.
Yeah, looking at like considering the amount of congestion and how much content has come out of this already, I think we can say that this is probably a success so far. So we're definitely going to see a lot of updates to Island Sanctuary in the future. I think so.
More stuff like this, and
yes,
give Squadron some love as well.
That one's going to be a little. Yeah.
If you can find something cool to do with Squadrons, I mean,
yeah.
Please think about Squadrons because it's promising.
I mean,
content as well,
didn't they say they were going to remove Squadrons entirely? I feel
they did say that.
Oh, they did. They were going to merge that into something else, didn't they?
Yeah.
Never mind then.
Yeah,
Squadrons is dead.
But I will say.
Yeah.
This feels better than like some of the other systems in the game in the sense that like I know that eventually I will get everything I want from this island.
Right.
Yeah.
I do not think I will ever get everything I want from the firmament because I do not have the motivation to craft or gather enough to get enough Sky Builder scripts to buy everything.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. There'll become a point where you no longer have anything to spend the blue things on, and so you're only accumulating them, and then you'll get all the mounts and you'll get all the hairstyles.
Yeah.
You'll be happy.
Yeah.
And then they'll add some new stuff for you to get.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Okay, well, there you go. Also, one thing, it just always rains on my island. I don't
it doesn't rain that often.
It's barely rained for me.
Oh,
but when
every
it does
time
rain, I feel glad because I know I don't have to do one action.
I also had one funny moment, which was like, I think it was on day one. I was just vibing in the camp. And then I see someone on my island, and I was so shook, and I ran away, and that was Nat. It was just Nat. Well, the funny part is I think Nat was so shook as well because he just teleported out of there when he saw me, and I'm like, whoa. That was very scary. Anyways, don't forget that you can have people over to your island as well.
Gosh.
I forgot that was a feature.
I didn't know it was on there.
And if you don't want people there, you can always turn it off.
You can turn it off.
Yes.
Very quickly, what do you think of the reason we have an island?
Right, we forgot about that.
I like it because we deserve it.
Yeah, so Tataru has provided us with an island to chill on.
Melweb's got a plan to give everyone an island, or give everyone the opportunity to work an island, no matter how rich or poor they are, which I think is an unusual initiative. But good on her, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, it's an interesting storyline.
I mean, she's essentially being a colonialist.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess these are uninhabited. We're assuming. I guess there's no intelligence.
No, wait for the next.
We don't know if they're.
It turns into a dungeon.
Wayfarers that like travel between these islands.
That's true. Well, no, they said they was inhabited by pirates until they stopped.
Yeah, they left.
Yeah, the pirates ruined it.
Yeah. So this is technically the Cialdelis. That's that's still under Lemins, and they
I think
own
so,
the Sea
yeah.
Elderlies, right? Yeah, right. So they're within their right to settle on it. I am assuming. So we're fine.
Yeah, I think the thing I find most weird about the storyline is the idea that, Bob Hopeless, who is like a level 1 culinarian and has no skills, can apparently work an island under this system. I mean, I know it's like fair and nice and cool, but it just sounds unbelievable to me.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I kind of
It's an
struggle.
island. And they're saying this man who has nothing can own this island.
Wait. A level 1 culinarian can't have an island.
No. I don't.
Yes, they
I mean,
can.
just as in like an NPC.
Because you can be a level 19 combat job and then be a level 1 culinarian.
The storyline is that in the whole
No.
island chain, Merlwyb wants to let them all be settled, not just by us, but by everyone.
Yeah.
And that could include people who have.
Oh,
from the
you're
bottom
talking
to the bottom.
theoretically. I thought you meant like an actual player.
No,
because
not
you
the
have-
characters.
idea is that we're showing them that it can be done.
Yeah,
We're
we're
the
showing that you can live
pioneers,
off the
mate.
land.
Yeah, we're the pioneers. Yeah, we're.
I mean, it's nice in theory. It's nice. It's just I find.
Yeah,
it
and also
unusual
remember,
that
you get an army of
governor or
mammoths.
whatever would happily give away. An
Yeah, we do have
island.
well, don't we only have an army of mammoths because Chitauri has connections to
The
Charlene?
Charlemagne
Yeah,
man.
that's
Because
true.
these were meant to be going on to the new land, the
That's
promised
true.
land.
To the new planet.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we
I also
deserve
think they
it.
might have been made irrelevant. They might have been made irrelevant by the existence of the Loporrits anyway.
True.
Oh, don't give them even more existential conflict.
No. Okay, well, anyways, there you go. Island Sanctuary. Good content. Thank you, Yoshi P. Okay, now we're going to go on to the spoiler cast. The story happened.
This is a very unique patch,
Yes.
story-wise.
Yes.
It is.
We'll talk.
This
Yeah, go on, Rollo.
this is my favorite patch. I'll say. I think in terms of like story content, this is before it used to be Prelude and Violet, which is 4.4, but now this Chef's Kiss.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever
Nice.
thought about what my favorite patch is. I really need to think about that, but this is definitely up there.
Yeah, this is a good patch.
Get the tier list made, guys, and we'll sort that out.
Yeah. Okay, so we start off in where does the quest even start? I've already.
It just starts outside DD Megadoodoo.
Yeah, DD Megadoodoo.
DD Megadoodoo. We meet up with the crew at the Great Work because it's time to see how they've progressed with what we left last time, which was we had this plan to build an Atomos so that we could get through the rift and save I always forget.
Ashdaya.
Yeah,
Well, Ashdaya, I believe it's Ashdaya. I think only Varshan says Ashdaya, and I think that's a function of the Mammoth's accent.
Okay.
I like it though.
Ashdaya. I like Ashdaya.
It sounds nice.
The only time I ever heard the name was. Has anyone
That
else
is
said
also
her
interest.
name?
A slight side point, but the fact that Vritra and Ashdaya are sort of like maybe Indian cultural, that sort of region words, whereas a lot of the other dragons are more Norse, like Ratatoska and Nidhogg.
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what the thought behind that
When
is.
did we learn these names? I feel like we've known these names since the first lore book. So-
Yeah, we've had them all.
Yeah.
Ashdaya is Slavic.
Okay, that makes
that's
sense.
close.
Because
Oh,
that's
is it?
that's a
That's-
Norse
okay.
connection.
Oh.
So
That's Norse adjacent.
yeah,
Norse adjacent.
it is Norse adjacent. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe we've heard Ashdaya pronounced by Vritra himself, like Dragon Vote.
Yeah.
Vritra.
Oh, okay. Asdaya. Okay, whatever. So yeah.
Sanskrit isn't Slavic, if that's true.
Okay. Well, then in
Now
that case,
there's conflicting information, but no worries. It's just a side point. It's fine.
yeah. Okay. So we arrive and there's an Atomos. They've made it. They did it. They made it an Atomos. A tiny one, but an
Yes.
Atomos. Now, this is the most disappointing part in the MSQ for me, is when we finally get to see Sid, Nero, Biggs, and Wedge, and it's in an unvoiced cutscene.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I like hearing Nero talk. He's very rare these days.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing him.
Yeah, it was nice to see him.
He was still himself.
But it kind of felt like they were sort of tacked on just as like a cameo. Like, here we exist in this world, because at least there it was like didn't really need them to be there then. But whatever.
There was a moment when they were talking about like, oh, but you have had experience of going to the void anyway.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just look at Nero and why was there no crust comment?
Yeah, what?
Just,
there was
I was
not
really
a single
hoping
crust
for a
comment.
comment.
Was there a crust comment?
Yeah, Sid says something along the lines of, if any of us know about spending too much time in the void, it would be you.
They say that, but there's no hard crust.
Mayla, you have to remember that the crust comment is something we made up.
I know, but it's so
That's our lore. It's not like
Sid's
Sid's gonna go, yeah, he was a bit of a crusty boy. Just pink crust.
It took us weeks to scrape that off.
Yeah, we had to scrape off all the crust.
He already didn't have it. Already was removed from him by the time they pulled him out of the void.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so Sid gives us the reinforced warning scales so that we won't get corrupted in the void.
Yeah, last up to 10 years. So we've got content for another decade.
Hey. Alrighty. So Nidana comes in and she's like, "Oh, we've got something for you as well. For Vashon," and he's like, "Okay, come with me." And then he just comes back as like adult Vashon, which we already knew was going to happen, but
it's very tacked on, isn't it?
Yeah, because they couldn't have
because they need him to be an adult for the dungeon or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also he is just a mammoth.
I know.
They just
I think I'd have preferred it if the child one fought in the dungeon, because it is just a mammoth. It would be funny.
I like that he has a unique faceplate as an adult. He's like he's the only male Aura that has like no scales on his chin.
Also, why didn't they get? Why? I know of an Aura in the story that needs a new face. You know who I am talking about?
Textureless man.
Yeah, I never remember his name, but what is his name? Oh God, Nabdeen.
I hate him.
What has happened to his face? Because I have I've never seen anything like it, and in every shot he's in, the lighting is just wrong for him.
So the interesting thing I find about Nabdeen is that he has two people that stand behind him at almost all times that I'm sure are thrilled that Nabdeen distracts from the fact that they're actually uglier than him.
They're
but the fact that Nabdeen speaks is the reason that everyone focuses on him.
Oh, I haven't noticed.
I will take a textured ugly over
a
Play-Doh pretty,
because he looks like you've just taken Play-Doh and stretched it over like a frame.
He so horrible.
He doesn't have eyebrows.
He doesn't have eyebrows either. No, but there's something about his like
Odo from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So he gets his new body. Countless fan art is born. Y'shtola gives us the Heidelin crystal from the Ragnarok. So we get our
thank God, right?
Yeah.
That was the Loporrit's present to us for helping Urianger find treasure vault information in Alzadal's legacy.
Yeah.
Like the plug for the update to the treasure map dungeons. Just now they can have even more treasure in their treasure dungeons.
Yeah. I love that, like that little.
All right, I'll not do any more MSQ and I'll go immediately to Aquapolis. Whatever the new one's called.
Okay, so
Excitatron 6000.
Excitatron.
Yeah. We go to the little the fissure, the place where the fissure is, and we bring the Atomos in there, and it just absorbs the fissure and grows into a huge Atomos. And there you go. We have a portal. Did you like the squelching sounds when we walked in?
Yes.
I thought that was so pointless.
I knew it was going to squelch.
Yeah.
I knew when I saw that thing, I'm like, it's going to make a little like sound or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it.
No. It was kind of gross.
It's lovely.
So we go in. It's time to save the dragon.
Dungeon immediately.
Yeah, we're thrown into a dungeon, and there is a reason for that, which becomes clearer as the MSQ progresses. But yeah, the Fell Court of Troya begins. I really like the design as you go in. The like
first bit
warped
was
dungeon.
amazing, where it's like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
Well, I like the whole dungeon.
Yeah, the whole dungeon is cool.
It loses the sort of like warped aspect once you leave the dungeons, but I really like just like the aesthetic of this like massive like dead world. It reminds me of the latter part reminds me of what's his name? What's the villain in 9?
Oh,
Kuja.
Yeah, Kuja.
It reminds me of Kuja's castle from 9.
Right. Yeah.
That is fair.
Yeah, I can see that. The first boss, though, can we just agree that that's not a great boss?
No. I appreciate them doing an ad boss for a change.
For a change? That's like the worst tier of Alex, was when you just did ads.
It's only in a dungeon, so it's more acceptable.
No, I think it's horrible.
I'm okay with it. I liked it.
This is probably one of the best ad bosses they've made, but the thing is, it's still an ad boss. I appreciate they keep trying to make this good.
Yeah.
They keep trying new things. I was okay with it because I thought, I'll be honest, I did think after you defeated the ads, a big head would spawn and it would be the real boss or something.
A big head does spawn, but it's just
not really.
It doesn't do anything.
Well, it's just like the boss from Shadowbringers in the final dungeon with the first boss there.
Amaranth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Amaranth.
It's just bellwether.
Yeah, the Louis Soir face bird.
Chicken Louis Soir.
That's true.
Yeah.
That one wasn't as interesting. I think
I agree, that's worse.
Well,
it's not good.
I think this is better.
It's fine. Yeah, it's all
You think this is better? I think the Louis Soir bird.
I think this is more tolerable.
Was a boss. With ads. This was just ads with ads.
Contentious.
I thought but the ads in that boss have less mechanics than this.
Nah. I just thought the mechanics that
it was fine.
The ads had were just
it was
basic.
the worst boss of the dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying this is a great dungeon. I'm saying this is better than two previously bad bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this was one of the most disappointing dungeon bosses in a very long time.
Oh wow! Yeah, really strong negative opinion.
Wow.
Yeah, I just don't. It felt like a room pull. It didn't feel like a boss. But anyways, that's fine. The rest is all right. We meet. So as we progress from the dungeon, we go into
castle.
The castle.
Didn't appreciate the. Oh no! I mean, I understand why they did it, but there was like a 14-mile long bridge to the castle, and it's just a cutscene. You just go through a face change, and then you're there.
Yeah.
And you don't even get to. When you get to the other side, you don't even get to turn around because you're already inside the castle. I kind of wanted the view from the other side,
which is so weird.
I wanted to walk along the bridge a bit
because they used that shot in promo pictures.
Yes,
and we could even see the boss arenas on it, right? Like that's where we're gonna fight. Like mobs,
I wanted to fight on part of it, but skipped right to it.
Yeah,
not that the inside of the castle is uninteresting. It's just I feel like there was nice opportunity there.
Yeah.
Did this feel like the Void version of Hawkmanor to you?
A little bit.
I guess
a little bit in the sense that I saw a lot of set pieces that I can see them turning into housing items one day, similar to what they did with Hawkmanor.
And it had like megalith rooms with tiny furniture.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what made this when you get to the statues and stuff, like before you get to the second boss, like right before. Well, it's actually also in the room with the second boss, Beatrice. What the fuck is that? Like, why are they just
statues, dude?
They're just statues that they place.
Yeah,
like
they're
that?
it's storage because they can't.
I don't think they're properly stored because I think we discuss this later. Well, it comes up later in the MSQ. I think that like a void sense domain is influenced by their state of mind. Yes. I think these are like related to Beatrice, like whatever happened in her past. I think they're related to just like her wanting like adoring like followers or whatever.
Right.
It's like Rollo and his anime figures. He's just had too many. He's just stuffing them in the corners.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know that table in the room, that massive table in the room that Nikhil questions like how people have conversations over. It's in the room with the dogs. Did you know you can just walk onto that? You don't have to jump onto it.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I was expecting to fight on it, but
Yeah.
nothing really happens with it.
No. We were, I will also mention that we were I at least was disappointed that the mob that we had identified as Ferdinand was not Ferdinand at all. It was just a jester,
It was just
something like that.
Generic enemy.
Yeah.
Just some dude.
Yeah, I thought that was like the original that we were facing off
Troy
with.
and Bishop.
Yeah, that's what
This
it was.
is I guess this is the second time we've fought real Void Scent rather than, I guess, them inhabiting something within the source. The World of Darkness, we were actually in the Void, weren't we? And then this one, we're actually in the Void.
Yeah. There's a room with the paintings as well. It's kind of creepy. There's like
that one was cool because some of them don't have faces.
Yeah. There's a lot of detail in this dungeon that I appreciate, and
there's a
again,
lot of like background storytelling that like it doesn't really explain.
Yeah,
but all of this, and I was thinking as I went through, like this is almost overly detailed. Why? Again, we will know soon. And then we get to Tagliatelle, as I like to.
Beatrice.
Oh, sorry,
Beatrice.
we have already Beatrice.
What do you think of her?
She was all right. I think her fight was.
She
fine.
had some unusual AoE. She's the one with the moving petrification.
Yeah, I like the way that the petrification mechanics.
That was clever.
Yeah,
that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
I also like that she just reused the Reaper animations for when you're transformed. I was looking, I was like, what is that? And
no,
it's like,
I believe she actually uses she's a re-rig of what's his name, the loser from Shadowbringers, the person that was always chasing out the rain.
what's
Ranjit?
Ranjit.
Is it Ranjit?
Yeah, I believe she.
Okay.
Yeah, it is Ranjit. I believe she uses his animation specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also a cute thing that Zionid pointed out. I think when you get petrified and have to look away, you do like a stiff Final Fantasy like pixel animation.
What?
But I never noticed it while I was in there. You know, in Final Fantasy like the pixel games when you attack.
Yeah.
You do that. Oh, is that? Sorry, that's in PC. No, ignore me then.
Oh, okay, we're ignoring. We're ignoring.
Okay.
All right.
That was the wrong one.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's still cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was an okay boss.
She was okay. It was a passable boss, second boss.
She was fine.
Yeah. She
cut that out of the final edit.
I won't. She jumps away though. She doesn't die in this fight. So she jumps off. If
you remember the trailer, you know what's going to happen to her.
Yeah. As we leave that area, we go outside. We get to see all these void things.
When in the good old days, in like one of my first PCs, have you ever heard of the game Thief?
Yes.
PC game Thief. So Thief 2, there was a demo of that.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, you needed a Voodoo graphics card to play it.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that. So all the textures were like neon, like a lattice of neon colors with black backgrounds. The leaves in the final section reminded me of that glitch.
That's exactly the reaction I had as well. It's like, this looks like a texture glitch that they just rolled with.
I quite like it.
Yeah, it is cool. I like it too. It was a great effect.
A tree housing item with those leaves. And I'm definitely going to get one.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Oh, definitely.
Oh, do you guys like the weird, like, warping image, like mirrors, I guess, technically?
That's very cool.
Yeah, where like
weird.
it just like inverts whatever your camera's looking at.
Yeah.
But it looks cool. I like that.
Yeah, it looks cool.
They should make a housing item for that.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
It's so crazy because it's actually your camera. So when you move the camera, it's fucked.
Cleverly done.
Yeah. So then we make it to the final boss.
Yes.
Tagliatelle,
also known as Scaravaggio.
Yeah.
Also known as Scarmiglione.
There are many names for this.
The fucking Italians are attacking, apparently.
This is the
All of
worst.
Italia hates you.
Yeah.
Oh, Italy! Oh my god! Italy was just the 13th!
Yeah, we are Ace Ventura.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a difficult patch name-wise, I think, when they throw a name at you. What did you say, Jurgi?
For you.
Yeah, for me. For me, it's
Yeah.
hard. I'm not Italian.
Okay.
Neither
am I.
Right.
Leave him alone. He's a little North Germanic person, all right?
From Northern Europe.
You're closer to Italy than I am.
What? I'm also closer to Russia, but I don't speak Russian. Like, what do you mean? All right. Anyways, so we make it to Tagliatelle, and also I fuck it up because I do stuff like this, because Maelad already called this boss Tagliatelle, and so whenever I see his name, I only read Tagliatelle now, and I can't stop saying it. Whenever I see it, it's Tagliatelle. I kept doing that throughout the entire MSQ, which bit me in the ass.
What did you think of his mechanics?
He was
not as exciting as I was maybe expecting. I think he repeats a little quickly.
He does, yeah.
And the thing on the trailer where he does what was essentially just the raid one in the end, there was nothing to that. It was just a raid one.
Well, let's also mention that Beatrice starts the fight, and then she's just killed mid-sentence, and then she's just
true.
gone.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he sucks her right up.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah. But yeah.
He was fine there. He was cool.
He was all right. Nothing to complain about there. All right. Also,
easy.
Yeah, quite easy. But this is where the twist comes in. This is what I actually really like what they did here, because this is, for all intents and purposes, a void patch. And we talked about how the possibility of doing getting any void areas like in a patch.
They almost did.
They figured it out, though. They found a way. So throughout most of the MSQ, you are in this dungeon. That's why it's so detailed, because it's actually a set for the story. And we walk around there. We figure out we can actually talk to the void scent that are just in the area.
You can even mount up like it's a real zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely do mount up, because boy,
that is a PSA, by the way. Yeah, you can
back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize you could.
Yeah.
So that was good for me.
Yeah. So there's also actually, if you are in the dungeon, there is an imp that you can talk to that will take you back up to the outside. So you don't have. Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
at the very bottom.
At the very bottom.
Yeah.
Yes. So we learn that
the master of the castle's dead.
Yes.
So they're all a little bit lost now, because void scent serve stronger and eat weaker.
There is sort of a hierarchy.
They respect strength.
Yes. Yes. So
now they don't touch us, because we killed both their master and the person that killed their master.
Yes. So they are terrified of us now.
They wouldn't mind a snack, though. Some of them wouldn't mind a snack.
No, they wouldn't. No. It's interesting because you can actually talk to, I think it's like an Ahriman, and he's just like not able to talk. He just goes blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
I think you can talk to the dog too. We just go. Ooh.
Yeah.
They just rough.
Yeah. We investigate the palace, or the castle, and we work our way down to the dungeon. That's where we see Xenos' avatar. I think if you talk to an NPC before then, he says like someone went in to that jail cell to eat it, I think, or whatever, and then he's like, he hasn't come out since. So, and if you talk to him afterwards, like, I knew it was a bad idea to go in there, because he's definitely been eaten. So we meet the avatar, and the crystal that we have.
Oh, lucky we had it.
Yeah, the convenient crystal that we got.
The plot crystal.
That crystal we got was immediately useful.
And
the MacGuffin here.
And it transforms the avatar into a human.
Yes. Which sadly, my desire never came true as to finding out what humans are called on the 13th.
Yeah. Well, there's still time. I mean,
there's still time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The the theory was correct. It was the same scythe. It was.
Yes,
That's-
it was the same.
One thing that I thought about after we'd done the episode was last week, because we talked about this theory, is that in the trailer and in the promo pictures, we only ever see the Avatar here. So I thought this
Yes.
Avatar is not going to be in a lot of shots.
That's
so
true. Yeah.
yeah. So if we brought that in, it'd be even clearer, I think. But anyways, yeah. We see her as a human, and we're like, oh, can you tell us like what's happening? And also she says like you're his Xenos called you his friend, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be Kingdom Hearts. She goes, what is friend? I'm like, Kingdom Hearts is light. Here we go. Oh,
Whoa.
yeah.
my
no.
friend!
Shout out to Rollo's fan.
Oh yeah. Look. Oh,
Where did
he's
Yogi
spinning.
I was thinking
Yogi.
he seemed a little still there.
Oh no. Yogi was against.
He
what
won't,
oh my
he
God,
won't
Rollo was
stand for that
sideways then.
Kingdom Hearts slander. Okay, there you are,
Oh,
Georgie.
he's back.
Hello.
I was about to know that I was having internet problems. but I
Oh,
realized-
I see. Anyways, yes. So Avatar turns into a person, human,
Oh, man.
and we're trying to get some information about everything. But she introduces the concept of how Void Scent will never give something for free. Everything you
Yeah.
have to strike a
No.
bargain. There needs
She
to
gets
be
a bit
something
annoying
in return.
initially.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like this concept. It is, like this is the rules of the land. We're a
Right.
different culture or whatever, and this is just how it is.
Yeah.
And so remember, ask how I want you to ask.
Yeah. Yes.
But also it kind of smacks of like I think, what was it, that fucking Rick and Morty or someone make a joke about it, about like devils that are like,
Yeah.
oh yes, I love it, but I hate it, but I love that I hate it, so I love it. And it's just like, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the trouble is like that it's barter for information in a land with nothing to barter for
Well, yeah.
except ether.
Except for
That's it.
ether. That's the going.
Well, that's what she wants.
That's the currency
That's-
of choice here, because the 13th doesn't have much of
No.
it. So
No money.
yeah. So Yashtola's like, I have some ether to spare, and
Really?
so
Do you?
yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Why do you?
Yeah, she's got. What are you going to give her? Your sense of taste?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's true.
What
Goodness,
else have
you've
you got
already
to
given
lose?
away so much. So we learned though some interesting stuff. We learned about the Contra Memoria, which was the big war.
that was big. I liked this.
Yeah,
more
that's
than
how
that.
the
We
13th
don't-
fell apart.
Mm.
We don't know the details at this point. We
No.
learn it was what led to it becoming the void, though.
Mm.
We also learned
Very
that there were Eidolons. I don't know if that was revealed here, but
That's later.
Oh, that's later. Okay, we'll get to that.
Later.
Yeah.
Oh boy, is that how that's pronounced?
No,
Nah.
Eidolons
I
is
was-
how I've always heard it.
Eidolon.
But she said
I-
Eidolons, and I'm like, they've said
Yeah,
it in the game, so now it's unfortunately canon.
Yeah,
I was
So-
like,
At
what?
least in our game.
Yeah, it is now in our game.
Eidolon.
Yeah. Anyways,
Rank.
so while the darkness spread across the world, she was still in the womb, and
Yeah.
the darkness
Mudar.
touched her, as she
Mm.
said, and
Oh,
she got a touch of the darkness, but she did
I
not
almost
turn.
cut myself on that dialogue. I mean, oh, Lord.
It is. I
So much
Zero.
edge.
Yes, Zero in general, and I say this lovingly, is like the ultimate like edgy deviant art Mary Sue
100%.
character of like,
I
this
Absolutely
is
agree.
15-year-old me would love this character.
Yeah.
yes, yes,
If you didn't say this, I was going to bring it up,
Yeah.
Rollo.
Yes, like
She is
this-
someone's
I-
edgy deviant OC.
Yeah.
like I would have made this character and made her with like a half demon wing or something, and like she was born half demon, and then she has the ultimate scythe technique passed down by her friend.
Yeah.
I know
Oh, I
that
love it.
Ishikawa is not the main lead on the story right now, but she does feel like Ishikawa is like
Yeah.
puny high school self.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't. I thought she was a little much at the start. I mean, I by the end of the patch, I like her as a new character.
Yeah.
But she was so like cold and just blunt. It's like talking to Valvedrix or something. It's like,
I mean,
so blunt.
Okay, we're doing a lot of name dropping in this episode. Yeah, go on, Gary.
Yeah, I find her, particularly at the start, a lot of her behavior a little contrived. Like, what is a friend?
Right.
That annoys me.
She had too many weird personalities. Like, the what is a friend was very meaty on childlike.
Yeah.
But then every single other facet of her was like, you know, don't talk to me. You could never understand me. I'm off to play Kingdom Hearts.
If you compare her to Meteon, she felt more like a different version of Omega to me.
Maybe.
Yeah.
She has the coldness of Omega.
Yeah.
Weird start to the character.
Yeah.
Very
yeah. They kind of back up on it, thankfully. But it's like, okay, I get it. You have the silly void rules of power and favor for a favor.
Yeah. Okay, so she's half void sent. So she doesn't have a name, and we're like, what did they call you, or what should we call you? She's like, call me void sent or whatever. And she's like, that's gonna be difficult. That's gonna be confusing because that's literally what we call all the void.
Call me Slur, please.
Yeah. And so I think Y'shtola comes up with the name Zero. Yeah, Zero, which I also
like,
scoffed at, which is like,
yes. Zero is like, zero means nothing.
Yeah,
it means beginning.
Yeah, it also means beginning. Makes you think. Huh?
Yeah, it's there's some Kingdom Hearts logic here, and I mean I love Kingdom Hearts, but come on, that's funny. All right, there is danger afoot. Don't know exactly. Do they? Oh yeah, we hear a voice. We hear like a voice go.
Only we do though.
No, I think
because a lot of people don't notice it.
Well,
yeah,
some do.
No, I think Estinian hears it, but like we don't ask him about it
Yeah.
at this point. I think we ask Varshan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very strange.
But
we ran back to the throne room anyway to be safe because it's indoors and it only has one point of attack.
Yeah.
Technically true.
That's where we meet up.
And then we get immediately attacked.
Yeah, we get attacked. We get attacked again by Tagliatelle.
Yeah.
Who now explains. This is where we get the explanation. I mean, we already should have known this, but this is now being explained to us again
death.
that there is no death in the void. Everything returns.
Yeah. And then luckily there's enough time for Y'shtola to go through a whole explanation of how this is relevant to the first, and there, you know, it's passivity, but here it's not, and so here this happened, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And Scarmiglione in particular is very adept at reforming very quickly because most void sent take longer.
Yes.
And and then he starts attacking us with the void sent, and once again Zero is frustrating.
Yes.
Actions.
It's funny. It's just like, oh, you didn't say the magic word.
But then there's another Kingdom Hearts moment where Y'shtola goes, wait, hold on a minute. I gave you a name. Now you...
I do owe you for giving
And then she says, like, I didn't ask for the name, but I did accept. Yeah.
I love it. It is very toony, very deviant art roleplay. OC, like it is.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
I'm here
funny,
for
at
it.
least.
So yeah, she begins to crystallize. So she like kills them, and then they turn into crystal. That's apparently the only way to like stop
the
avoid them from
ambient
respawning.
ether before it can go away and reform.
Yeah, because I don't know if we mentioned that, but during the battle, Scarmiglione just keeps pumping them out. It respawns them. They show. Sorry, she reveals that she's a Memoriat. Yeah, which is essentially their version of kind of like Warrior of Light kind of thing, but that's
sort of, yeah.
They're like soldiers that fought in the war.
Memoria.
The Contra Memoria.
Yeah.
I can't speak to this because I haven't actually spoken to what are they called? Unukel High and Silva.
Right.
apparently they make a distinction between Warriors of Light and
Oh yeah, they
Memoriat,
do. I did talk to them afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are
Memoriat
specifically
is-
soldiers that fought to just fight.
They're kind of like chosen in a similar way, though. They have this power.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But they are different to Heiden's
Yes.
chosen, I guess.
Silva says that she was a Memoriat. Yes, she does.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
I need to talk to them. I haven't had the chance to.
Yeah,
yet.
it's interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah. Golbez, there's a flashback from Scarmaleone's crystal that shows that Golbez captured Asdaya. We get to see Asdaya in like a being
she's having a good
captured,
time.
and the four fiends in their original forms, which is kind of weird, but they're just kind of shadowy, like overworld mobs. But whatever.
There's one of those demon things from
I
Modona.
like that they started off as like regular.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
void sent.
Yeah, they were just like anyone
Succubus.
else. A succubus, yeah.
And then
I don't.
like an ogre or something, and there's something else.
It's a succubus, an ogre,
Whatever the
what's it called? The thingies that are in like the
Modona
the
things.
Gigas. No, not the Gigas. I'm mixing them up.
The
Oh yeah, the
Like
little the monkey thing.
The monkey. The monkey?
Oh
Mood
yeah,
suit,
mood
yeah.
suit. Yeah, there's a
Mood
mood
suit,
suit,
mood suit.
and then some little monkey
and
thing.
then
I
the-
can't remember what they're called.
the little
Yeah.
monkey thing that Scarmaleone is.
Yeah. Okay, so we learned that he's got her, and that's how they got their powers, because they sucked the ether. Well, not all of it, but they sucked some of the ether.
No. They had a
out
little
of-
bit.
Well,
They
yeah.
had a taster
Yeah,
session.
they apparently they'd only be able to take a little bit at the time. Golbez says they're too weak to take too much.
Yes.
Yeah, they got tummy ache.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we, of course, with due pay, Ether Zero agrees to help us find more Void Scent that can tell us more about Golbez and his minions, and then leave Troya Keep. This again, throughout this whole thing, we've been in this dungeon, but at this point, I'm so like immersed in this, like I feel like I'm on the Void, which is in
Yes.
the like,
100%.
It's really strange.
It's probably the best they'll ever
Clever.
do in terms of adding a new zone in a patch.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an overworld zone, but it's close enough.
Yeah. So there's a cut here, I think, where we go like meanwhile somewhere else or whatever. I think.
Yeah, as we're leaving Troya, there's a little eyeball that's like spying, and it's like,
Right.
Tell Golbez.
Yes. So the eye returns to Golbez and tells, and essentially he rats on us, obviously, that we have.
He says there's a memorial.
Yeah, there's a memorial
But,
among us.
The water one is like, oh, that's a name I've not heard for a while. That makes me feel happy, blah blah blah. And the fire dude's doesn't believe it at all. And then the wind woman,
The Wind Woman.
Barbaricia.
who reveals her name.
Yeah.
Another
says, I'm
Italian.
gonna,
Another
another
Italian.
bloomin' Italian.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She says, I'm gonna go and I'll go and kill them.
Well, Barbaricia says she'll do it if
In
she can get the
exchange.
rest of Asdaya's
All of
ether.
Ashdire's
Yeah,
ether.
all
And
of
then
it.
I don't like that. The other guys don't like that.
And then
so-
Golbez's like, oh, well, if you can get rid of them, then fine. It's yours.
Yeah.
So she goes. But this is where I was surprised again, because so we have left Troya Castle. And I'm like, what's happening now? We are
flying on
moved
the little
to a new
thing.
little zone. A
It's
little.
called a Nizrock. It's not little. The Nizrock
Well,
is not little.
Yeah,
man.
right.
It's bigger than you would expect.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It's cute though.
We actually get a little map, a little
We get
zone.
a new zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's her domain.
Yes.
Filled with,
The dregs of
refugee
society.
void set.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
People
void
have
set that
nowhere
were
else to
hiding.
go.
Yeah. They didn't really serve, like, they don't have a master
There's
to
no-
serve.
yeah.
So they are
They're
just hiding here,
wimps.
essentially. Which is interesting because you can walk freely around on this map and talk to Void Sent that are it's
and
very
there's
interesting.
one who's just like, please go away. I really want to eat you. Or whatever.
Again, it's super cool. I don't know, like there's just so much in this patch.
Yeah,
and it just I was so surprised.
Yes.
It caught me off guard multiple times.
I mean, I'm really happy that they've made the Void really like intriguing and nice to look at, because after just World of Darkness, it feels like what can there be to the Void? But
Right.
now they've shown us that there really can be a lot to the Void.
Yes.
Yeah, especially after some of the descriptions of like that we heard of it from that one kid that was there and from the first. The way he describes it, and then what we see in the World of Darkness too, it's like,
oh yeah,
it's like just nothing.
Yeah.
Is from what Zero seems to say from the dungeon, and then from Barbaricha in a little bit, it seems like everyone, or not, I don't know if everyone, but there are these, they call them their domains, and they all have like control over these floating islands because they can move them. Evidently,
no, I don't think all of them can move their domains. I think
thing.
Well, maybe the really strong people can move them.
Yeah.
No, I think it's only Barbaricha and maybe some other specific ones. I don't think any of the others show ability to move their domains.
No.
Okay. Well, even so, they all have these floating islands that I presume most of the Void is like that then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It does seem that way. Well, we still don't know if there's like anything left of like the actual continent. I mean, I'm still, because I felt like, is this like their way of like avoiding like a Void expansion? But I actually think that this is more of a way of showing that there can be a Void expansion, because there's so much unknown now in the Void that there can be a lot left
it easily
that we just don't
gates
know
the
about.
Zones as well if they're on islands, and then we could have a surprise where we go down to the surface or something, and there's like a big,
because what I was thinking is that if the Void, because it seems the Void Sent generally stay within their domains or like go to other domains to like attack and whatever, but because they're so focused on these domains things, there could be land that just isn't, that they just don't know about. There's stuff here. I don't think this is indicative of like abandoning the idea of a Void expansion.
It's not it's not turning the Void into a dungeon like
no, even though kind of did in this expansion, in a weird way, but
afterwards.
Okay, so there's funny because if you there's Void Sent all over this map. There's one Void Sent, if you go talk to it, it's like, I'm not interested in you. I love that, just flat rejection. It's like, I'm just not interested in you at all.
I mean, there's also a Mind Flayer that you didn't actually see, Likio, when you.
No, I saw him, but I didn't talk to him.
You didn't speak to him?
Yeah,
he's basically, so there's a story in either Google Normal or Google Hard, I can't remember. There's a book that's like a journal of that creepy goldsmith that makes all the Void Sent minions.
Right.
And then this Mind Flayer talks about how he was summoned against his will by this deviant that wanted to do things to him. But then once the deviant saw that you're not a sexy succubusy,
right?
You're an octopus man.
Yeah.
And then he started slashing him up, and then
the Mind Flayer's
like, I'll never return to you.
Just traumatized by his like sexual assault. I don't know.
I missed that, but thankfully chat, because he's like in the room next to where we are with so he's not immediately visible, so you have to actually go look for him, but thankfully someone copy pasted it. All right, anyways, one Void Sent brings up Farfarello as someone who formerly served Barbie.
Farfarello.
Which, I mean, that just
Farfarello's friends with Siriato.
But
lovely names.
Farfarello just sounds like a dish. I'm sorry, but that sounds like a dish.
Farfarello sounds like a Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah.
That is
Farfarello Rocher.
So they have an interesting relationship, Siriato and Farfarello, in which they basically symbiotically suck each other's ether off.
Yes.
That's such a...
stay alive.
I thought you were going to say they 69 each other's ether.
They basically do.
Yeah, they basically
you know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
Because they're so scared of the world
Yeah.
They've found only each other. They have nothing else. It's cute.
Mm-hmm.
The poor little
That
thing.
is cute and
Well-
ultimately sad.
Yeah,
Well,
very sad.
We later then find Siriato, and he's acting really weird. He's also like that horrible mob that I
That's
hate
my
Don't-
favorite
with the faces.
model in
Don't
the game.
bully the personas. I
Ugh.
think they're kind of they've gone all the way to being kind of cute to me.
That is
Well,
by far my favorite.
I'm no
model in this
longer repulsed by their
game. They're
appearance,
so cool.
but yeah, it's an
They're so
interesting design.
creepy and
I mean,
all
that
that
was
stuff.
in base a Realm Reborn, which at
Yeah,
that
it was
time
in
that was like
Amberpore.
so out of place for this world, and I just remember
Mhm.
being like, "Oh, what are you?" Okay. Anyways, yes. So we learn, however, that the reason why Siriato is acting so strange is because
He sucked too hard.
Farfarella told him to just fucking eat him, and so he did, because he was afraid
Farfarella
of.
was too scared.
Yeah, he was afraid of Barbie.
It turns
could
out
sense
that the
Barbariccia
person, because he served under someone and
Yeah.
it was her.
Yes, Barbaricha was his master.
Mm-hmm.
So she arrived. Speaking of, while we are discussing what to do next, Barbaricha, we noticed that there's something that has grown. I think like out of like one of the islands.
Yeah,
and we're like, oh
yeah.
shit! She approaches, and she appears on the in Zero's domain.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks interesting.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about that. And she's like teasing Varshan about Asdaya.
Yeah, she can smell the dragon on him.
Yes.
Well, at first Varshan asks him, and then she's like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
smell similar."
Yeah.
Mm,
And she's like,
it's got the stink on you.
yeah. She's like, how about you come to my domain? And obviously it's supposed to be a trap because she thinks she's very powerful and that she will destroy us.
Yeah.
And we
Can I say-
write. Yeah, go on.
Barbariccia's voice direction. She sounds disinterested in everything she says, and I want to believe that's on purpose.
Yeah,
I quite like her voice acting.
I do like it.
Yeah.
It's
I thought she was
interesting.
quite generic looking, but I like the voice acting.
Yeah. She's like
Kind of just looked a bit like Garuda or something.
she's
but
kind of
more
like
boring looking.
like a non-bird version of Garuda, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The face is very similar.
Mhm. I prefer her second phase form from the trial, but we'll get to that.
Yes, we'll get to
Yeah.
that. So we ride to her domain via Nisroch, which is the name of the. They just say that, by the way, as if like we know. Like we
Yeah.
travel by Nisroch, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, sure.
Get on your Nisroch, guys.
So those are those big things that we fly on. I mean, they are I guess that's why they just said it, because it's hard to explain what it is. It's just
Well, yeah.
it's just a
It
flying
would be
monster
awkward
thing.
if they said you've just flown on the Nisroch, which
Yeah.
is a type of void scent that dwells.
Yeah.
It's natural. I like it.
Yeah.
We're learning about the world through just conversation.
Yes. Okay, so we travel via Nisroch to Storm's Crown.
Mm-hmm. Her domain.
Her domain.
It's disgusting.
It's just you can smell that area. You can smell the
Yeah.
arena. It's
But luckily, she was not very good at fighting at all, apparently.
No. What? What do you mean?
Which there's nothing to the fight,
Oh my God.
especially the normal mode.
Mela is so
Oh my
down
God.
on this fight, and it's just
You're-
lying.
Yeah, everyone else. I
What is
read
this
saying, like, this is a
elitist
very
bullshit?
like a
So
rapid fire
easy.
trial. Both the normal. We have
Mela's-
not cleared it, so you can't say it's easy.
Mela's been
yeah,
Mela's raided for 4 months, and he's turned into an elitist for some reason. I don't
Yeah.
The
know what
normal
this is.
version.
But you said that about the extreme as well.
No, I don't think the stream's that difficult. But the normal version isn't like.
I mean, it's not great. It's a normal version. I mean, I don't know
Yeah, it is a
what
normal
you're
version, but
expecting.
I think the cool thing about the normal version is that how rapidly the mechanics come out. It's been a while
Oh,
since we've
yeah.
had a trial that's like more of a. This is less of a dance and more of a reaction test.
Yes.
Through some of the some of
Just
the AoEs. are
Some of
quite
those
fast.
AoEs go off like in a blink of an
You have
an
basically you
eye.
have to know what you're doing.
Yes.
So you're gonna get hit once and then you'll learn. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like it hectic, you know. I like it fast paced. Like, oof, here it
Yeah.
comes.
And
Yeah.
I like the part where you get like tied down to the hair and you have moved slowly,
That's
and you can't run away too far. I thought you had to. Like,
Yes, I tried to break the
Yeah.
away.
Oh,
You
yeah.
thought it was a tether break.
Yep.
Yeah.
They fucking caught you.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. The bullet hell version of that mechanic's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a graphical issue with that fight for some reason, so that's kind of cursed
Yeah.
for me.
it's weird because it happened to you twice.
Yeah.
You needed to put it into full screen mode to make a graphical glitch go away.
Yeah, I had I have problems. This is a cry for help, chat. There is something that happens to my game when I use OBS. OBS will make my game flash at random, and it will it's just short flashes.
But
I think
you had in this.
But I think it's related, Mela.
But it was like smooth, wasn't it? Though it would it didn't immediately just disappear. It was like smooth. It went round.
It was
the arena.
it was like something in the arena, like a texture
Yeah,
in the arena
but it
just
slowly
unloaded.
removed. Yeah, it was
And
so
it was
good.
like it was like
cool.
aliased as well. It was very odd. And then looking down and looking back up again apparently fixes it because I guess it reloads the graphics. But very strange. It was. I have no idea what caused that. But yeah, I need to figure that out, but I don't know what to look for. I've been Googling like crazy. No one has this problem. But anyways.
No.
Very specific. Yeah, you're the only one.
Yeah. It's a very unique problem to have.
Which ratio form do you prefer?
Mechanically, the mummy version.
I think the second version is more fun because that's when she goes.
I don't like the way she does the jiggle arms and legs.
What,
You don't
what's-
like it when they like bulge.
No, it's weird. I don't like it.
What's
Freaks
that?
me out.
What's that joke? It's like the artist's thinly veiled fetish inserted
Yeah.
into the game.
Yeah.
Like I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean,
Somewhat.
if I had a nickel for every time there was a void sent lady that used her hair significantly in her attacks, I'd have 2 nickels, which is not much, but it's more than you'd think.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
damn right.
It's
Yeah.
weird that it happened twice.
Yeah.
Hair is sexy.
Okay.
Apparently.
So we defeat her. I mean, it's a great fight. I thought it was all right. It's a normal fight. You know.
It had some new mechanics which were cool.
Yeah.
It was fine.
So
50% of them down.
should probably mention that before we go into the fight. Zero is like asking us to like, can you just look into that crystal and just see what you can find from that? You know, and I think
But
you have
we
a
can't
choice
do it.
to like tell her that you can't do it on command because we can't.
Mhm.
And when we get the crystal, there is nothing. You get nothing.
Bad.
No echo.
No.
But we'll get one eventually, I'm sure. It was too close to the end of the patch, and they thought we can't be bothered to chuck
Right. Yeah.
another cutscene in there.
Nice if Vanar taught us how to have greater control or ability to use the echo, because I mean, she did let us do that one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
And other Echo users seem to have more control over some of theirs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We just kind of suck. Sorry.
We can't. Yeah. Yeah.
We can't talk.
No.
We should
Just
mutter our
nod.
mouth.
Yeah.
And nod.
Okay, so Zero collapses after this fight. So we have her just unconscious.
Even though we keep giving her ether.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably hasn't used her Memoria powers for a very long time.
No.
Because she hasn't needed to like outright like defeat Void Sem. She could probably move on after just killing them.
Right. I should probably mention. I didn't mention that, but obviously, Zero turned Barbie into a crystal. That's how we killed her. That's the only way to kill her.
Too,
yeah. So that's what caused her to collapse. We then decide there and then that we should probably bring her to the source because we have to go back. We can't just leave her like this. So like, well, it's kind of weird.
Someone might eat her.
Yeah, someone might eat her.
Vashan was very worried about consensual shard hopping.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess, gotta have
You're
consent.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
You are
Consent is
taking away
always
from her
cool.
world.
Yeah.
I mean, tell that to Graha.
That's true.
True. So we bring her to the source.
Yeah, she wakes up
and
in
this is
the
such a funny cutscene.
Yes,
because
yes.
she wakes
it's so
up.
real.
Yes. And I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna meet. And I think I streamed this, so there's a point where I go, oh, she's gonna meet Nidhana. That's gonna be fucking horrifying. And immediately cuts to this like horror
so funny.
shot of Nidhana's like big fucking face, black
It took me
eyes.
by such
She just
surprise.
goes,
I couldn't hit the take screenshot button. I missed the scene. I was like,
Yeah.
I wanna.
That's really good.
There wasn't as much comedy in this patch as there was last time as 6.1, but this was like the peak of
Yeah.
so
Oh,
funny.
for sure. Yeah. Also, it was interesting that when she woke up, she was very like the facial animations were very good. Like her eyes moved. Like there's subtle things I see every time in the cutscenes where they're like, okay, they put some extra effort into this. Yeah, she wakes up and she's like, oh well, I don't exactly remember how we got to the apples, but we're like, we need to give her something to eat.
Basically, Nidhana they had a funny conversation where, oh no, I'm not really a void sent.
Yeah.
You know.
No,
and then
we got the apple because Varshan asked us. She needs food when she wakes up.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. This is okay. It was as simple as that. All right. Yeah.
You could pick 3 options. You could pick meat, fruit, or
ether.
No, you could pick 4 options. You could pick the most expensive thing on your menu.
Yeah.
Meat, fruit, or one serving of
an adult serving of ether or whatever.
Yeah, an adult serving of ether.
I picked that one. But yeah, nothing. I mean, you get an apple, or you get apples.
I picked that because it seemed the most appropriate for someone who's just.
I picked the plate of meat because that's what I would have wanted.
Yeah, that's what I picked. Like, I don't think that's good for a little baby voidling who just wake up.
Yeah, you've got like nothing on your stomach, you eating just prime steak.
Jerky would do that in real life if he ever like just knocked out. Like, I'll give me the big plate of meat. I know I'm in the hospital bed with an IV catheter, but I want the big plate of meat.
So
exactly.
So do we immediately do the food scene, or do we do the tour before we do that?
No, this is where the food scene is.
Okay. So we present the apples to Zero, and she just proceeds to like suck the ether out of the apple, and it just sort of rots. And so they're like, no. You have to eat it for flavor. You have to enjoy it. And so she eats an apple. She's like,
She takes a whole bite.
And then she's like, did it taste good?
I don't know. I don't know what that is. Yeah.
That tongue don't do nothing. Don't expect nothing.
And then we get to experience the base expansion quest line again, where you go tour.
Time to do that again.
the Radzat Han, which, sure.
Zero during this was like very much giving Mela imitating the Queen. She was just like,
really? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's fair though.
Yeah.
You gotta question these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new world, so
she basically gets shown around like paradise, I guess. I mean, especially to her, it's like this gold-lined city.
Well, I wonder if it is, because her definition of paradise might be completely different. You know, I don't know.
She prefers
because
like
if she thought it was a
Blackstone,
exactly Blackstone, crying, like just
crying,
lots of
all
rain.
the walls cry.
Yeah.
The rain hitting the floor sounds like sobbing.
Yeah,
She's crying all the time.
But because remember, she didn't react to the apple, like she doesn't like flavors. Like, did it taste like what even is good? Like, what the fuck do you mean?
She's full of darkness.
Yeah, she's so full of darkness, dude. Fuck.
50% darkness.
So we, in exchange for the ether that we've provided and learning about the source, she explains the Contra Memoria more. There's
a very cute scene at the end of the tour.
Yeah.
Where there are the children from the orphanage, and this is another like slight character shift with her, where she kind of softens, and that I think was a very key. I liked that scene. She's kind of like friendly to the kids in a way I wouldn't have expected.
It was
in
still
a cold way, but it's not how I'd have
her.
expected from her.
Right.
I liked it.
Well, I mean, she still lived in a world, so she's not
Exactly. So it's probably bringing back memories for her and stuff.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. So she explains more about the Concha Memoria. This is where she tells us about the Eidolons, as she pronounces it.
Eidolons.
Yeah. Eidolons is how every other character in every other Final Fantasy has pronounced it.
It was either someone in chat or someone on our Discord that was pointing out the reason they call them Eidolons is because the Void is the 13th. And what do they call the equivalent of primals in Final Fantasy 13? Eidolons.
Oh.
I don't like that you said that.
What?
So it's Final Fantasy 13.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about why she pronounced it as
No, I have no explanation.
Okay, so that I was really because the reason why they called it Eidolons is because in 13 they called it Eidolons. I'm like,
no,
that is fair.
yeah,
the way you did say that.
No, I was just talking about the word, not the pronunciation.
Right. I see. Yeah. Eidolons is also used in
Four
like
also
four.
yeah.
So
but it's a nice connection.
Yes. So essentially, they were overwhelmed with Eidolons, and then that's sort of what it was.
Not just being overwhelmed by them, but
also darkness.
The Memoriates, like they captured like the Eidolons and other like negative things in their little ether crystals.
Yep.
But then that seeped into them, and then they started using them to attack.
They
turning
turned
things
as
into
well.
void scent and using them to attack everyone.
Yes.
And that broke the balance.
Yes.
It was a downward spiral.
Really interesting story, though. I'm glad we were getting lots of void lore.
I think we'll get more about this.
Oh yes.
Necessary. The 13th is the most important shard.
Yes.
I think.
So this is where Y'shtola suggests that the 13th may not be lost, and that there might be a way to reset the balance.
Yeah.
What?
It hasn't been rejoined, and they let her in on the secret of rejoining.
Yes.
That's crazy. What? Are we gonna help?
Well, see,
we basically explained like 4 expansions worth of content to her.
Yes, we did. We told her about everything
and
that's
we
happened.
said what we did in Eden.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do that here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully not.
It's interesting that she thinks that 13th may not be lost, because we've been told even by the Asians that we kind of fucked up the 13th, because that's
but it's from the Asians' perspective though, what they wanted was it to be so overwhelming that it would rejoin. So for them it is a lost cause because they can't do anything with it.
Yeah, that's
for
fair.
us it's a chance to regrow it.
Yeah. So the last scene. Oh yeah, by the way, I love that. By the way, when she like brings that out, like this little spark of hope that we might save the 13th, Sarah's like, whatever. Okay. It's just whatever, dude.
So cool.
I guess.
I don't.
You know, deep down though, she's probably thinking.
Yeah. It's like,
I reckon there's something.
I mean, a little bit, but like right now, she's like, there's no one alive on that shard. I don't have anyone to care about.
Right. Okay, so the last scene is like, meanwhile, somewhere else, we see Golbez and his 3 remaining fiends. Sorry, 2 remaining fiends now.
He's already lost half of them.
We hear the Archfiend of Fire with the help of Cagnazzo, which is Cagnazzo.
Fucking Cagnazzo. What? The Italian menace of the 13th.
Yeah, Cagnazzo, and he talks like this.
He talks like
Oi, London.
Blimey, Gavner.
They join forces.
They've got a plan.
Yeah.
Yes, Rubicante has a plan.
Yeah, Rubicante. That's the last
we don't
one.
know Rubicante's name
yet.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Let's appreciate though, if they did Barbaricha dirty a bit because she's a lot hotter in 4. But Rubicante is just a man, but Cagnazzo is that horrible blue turtle creature. So at least we got that to look forward to.
That's true. So it looks like we are going to get the same configuration for the next patch, where maybe we're getting. Well, it's hard to tell.
So will probably be the. Well, I feel like there's always a possibility for different things, but it feels like at this point Cagnazzo will be the dungeon boss, and then Rubicante will be the trial boss.
Yes,
makes sense.
That's possible.
But if they're working together, there's always a chance it's a joint trial.
It might be a joint trial.
They very
that's
rarely
also a
do
possibility.
them.
Yeah,
but they're always good.
Which
we need more of things like that.
Yeah, because remember that Yoshi P said that the pivot for the patch will be 6.5.
Yeah, right at the end.
Which means we might just get 3 trials within this storyline before.
I mean, we're gonna have to defeat Golbez as well, aren't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So Golbez is probably the last of this trial series before we go to the pivot and get a brand new trial. Just for the pivot. That's my theory, anyways. But
yeah, I'm thinking the Golbez is having a plan about some sort of war. Though.
Yes, he's planning a war.
I think whatever the pivot event is, that may still go ahead.
Could it be like an invasion from the void?
I think it's an invasion from the void.
Yeah, I think it's an invasion. We also have this weird scene where Golbez like flashbacks to when he defeated an ancient.
Oh yeah,
that was
right.
I was wondering, like, what is going on there?
Yeah,
yeah. So he talks about the condemned, like, he says something very like poetic about how the amazing, like, the beyond us condemned, like the people that were like so powerful, they're gone now, and now the blessed damned. Thank you, chat.
Some people say it's not an ancient, but they were wearing a hood. That's all. It wasn't a clear picture, but yeah. It had little stars in the outfit. I did not have time to look that closely on the picture. Some saying it might be the Watcher, but
I think a lot of people are theorizing that it's the 13th shard, the 13th version of the Watcher.
Yeah,
and that this is what's going to lead into what Yoshi P has teased about the other shards' moons being relevant moving forward.
Of course,
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Well, I suppose in the void that might be the only bit of proper land other than all the floating continents.
Well, there you go. That
was the patch summary.
The patch.
I'm very excited for the potential of a new permanent or semi-permanent character. I don't know about the Scions. Just it's constant. I need variety in my characters. I need to hang out with more people than the Scions.
That's fair.
So I'm glad. I'd be happy if Zero joins us for not just for a couple of patches, for the whole expansion, or maybe even a few expansions.
Yeah.
Yes. And hey, don't worry, by the way, we did get a unique Reaper dialogue for this patch that explains nothing still.
Right.
It explains that our contract was equitable, whereas Xenos was a bad man.
Yeah, I don't think that's realistic.
No.
I don't get it. Just it feels like they got nothing for who that little void scent dude is. No. That's fine.
I think we'll get an answer for it. They just don't want to tell us yet.
Maybe. I mean, if we are going to dive deeper into the void, into the void lore, so there might still be time for that. Yeah. There's another thing that I want to say as a quick PSA, because I don't think it is like really advertised anywhere, and the MSQ is not really pushing in that direction. But if you go to Mega Doodoo,
there's a little tease, but it doesn't make it clear that this is a quest.
At the Mega Doodoo place, if you go past the little Ethernet crystal, there's a dude with a quest standing just off the road, and he has a follow-up quest. It is not a blue quest; it's just a normal quest, but it is definitely worth doing if you like void lore. It'll dive deeper into more background for some of the people that you have encountered in the MSQ. So definitely go pick that up, and it's also going to continue in the next patch, it seems. So definitely pick that up if you haven't already.
Yeah, take that. Bastardo.
Yeah. Right.
Cagnazzo. I don't know. Cagnazzo.
Yeah.
Okay. On that.
Tagliatelle.
On that note, that's the end. That's the end of the show. We'll be talking next week. We'll be talking about and discussing the raid storyline, as well as Tataru's great Endeavor.
Endeavor.
Oh, Endeavor. Sorry, Endeavor.
Yes.
And also the Rising.
And also the Rising, of course. So make sure you catch that. That is it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersXIV, and youtube.com/SpeakersXIV. Exclamation Discord in chat. If you want to join our Discord server, if you're watching on demand, links in the description. Remember to send us mogmail, speakersxiv.com/mogmail. We'll be doing quite a lot of mogmail, I think, next week. We'll just try to get through as much as possible. We have a pretty big backlog now. So we'll do that. If you're watching live, we're going into the post show. See you there. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.